Alright, so it's the last video. We've officially finished the CRUD application, but here I wanted to introduce you to something that's really important, which is actually the validation. Alright, so the validation is basically about validating forms and inputs and stuff like that. So validation is about simply making sure that the user does not break the rules that we need to set them to him, and he needs to follow them. So, for example, in here, in order for the user to create a post, he need to enter those three inputs, to enter data in those three inputs in here. If he clicks on this like that, you're gonna see it's actually not gonna insert a new post, or it might even like display an error, which is I think it's going to do in here. All right, so it's still mean here that the column title cannot be null, because that makes total sense. We did not even set it to null. So this is why we need to validate something like this. All right, so, and the user can even like leave those empty by accident or something. All right, so let's go ahead and do this right now. So there is a part that's in the back end, a part, and a part that's in the front end. So validating this is going to be in the create and the store posts. That's good. The code should be right at the top of the logic. All right, so for validation, we can use the request in here object, and we can use the validate function. And inside the validate function, we are going to have the roles. We're going to have the names of the inputs, and then we're going to have the roles that we need to set in here. All right, so the role, so the inputs that we want to set the role for, it's the input with the name title like that. And here we can simply go for example, we want this to be inserted, so we're gonna set it to required like this. All right. Something else that we can set it, we can go in here and, for example, make this a maximum of maximum character of 255 for the title. All right, and there's a lot of rules out there, but we're gonna stick to those. All right, so let's copy and paste those once again. Let's say, for example, for the author, we want to set the same saying the maximum should be 255, and for the content in here, we're not gonna set actually a maximum. We can set a minimum in here. All right, we can go like this. All right, and the minimum is basically, you can keep it 200, for example. All right, so these are basically these are basically the inputs inside the form, and these are basically the roles like that. All right, save the full thing like this, and now let's move to the part where, let's move to the part of the front end. If we actually go ahead and try and refresh this now, let's go ahead and click save. All right, so it's gonna go back to the same page. So now the validation is working. We need to like display something for the user to tell him that you forgot to insert this, or you forgot to meet this role. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. So I already prepared like a part of the code right here. So go ahead and stop the video and write this. All what we're doing in here, Laravel is smart enough. We're using a directive which is at error, and we're going for the title in here, which is the input that we want to display this error to, if there is something wrong. And then we're creating a small tag with a class text danger, and then we're sitting in, we're simply triggering the message, and the message variable in here is just the default message for the error. All right, that's set by Laravel. All right, so if we save this, for example, and if we go ahead and refresh this once again, we click save. All right, so as you can see in here, the title field is required. So since we broke the first rule, which is we did not enter anything inside the input, it's going to simply display something like this, that the title field is required. All right, if we actually go for, if we break the second rule, for example, if we enter something that's bigger than 255 characters, and if we click save like that, you're going to see that the title field must not be greater than 255. All right, which is what we set it to be in here, because we set the maximum characters to be 255. All right, so this is how basically this works. Laravel is smart enough to simply set the message for us. All what we need to do is to just send in the input name. All right, let's copy this one more time. Let's go ahead right in here. Now let's send in the name of the input. All right, well, let's now save. Let's go ahead and here refresh. We click save like that. All right, so as you can see, both three of the inputs are basically, we are triggering messages for them because we did not enter anything. If we entered something in here like first title like that, all right, and if we click save, you're gonna see that the first message is gone because we made the role, we made the roles for this input, but we did not make it for the other ones in here, and this is why it's displaying these messages. All right, I may go in here and actually go for a BR, another BR. All right, let's now refresh like this. All right, so there we go. So this is what validation is. All right, if we meet the roles for all of them, it's going to insert right now. So if I go in here and if I go third post like that, and for the author, I keep it like this. And for the content, let me copy the full thing and let's paste. Let's click save. All right, so as you can see, actually inserted this. So if we click show, as you can see, it's being inserted right there. So this is basically what the validation is. And as you've guessed it, or as you might have guessed it, you need to actually do the validation in here for also the edit, because let's say, for example, the user did not enter anything inside the title. If we clicked update like that, it's going to display an error. All right, because that we did not insert anything inside the title, and this is an SQL error, as you can see, because this is required in here. All right, so you need to basically do the same thing. You need to grab these roles and put it right um, inside the update post in here, right at the top, and then go at the edit in here and add these directives right there. All right, he's just passing the input name. Yeah, this is basically it, and I will see you in the next one.